Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
To a whole lot of people listening to this podcast right now, I just committed career suicide. I just said no to a client. Let me tell you something. Coaches, consultants, and small business owners and some freelancers have two major problems. And one is obviously where I come in. You know, this is where to find new clients. And the other one is how to turn clients down. Now, you must have been listening to the first part of this podcast and you say, wait, what? You're probably thinking, surely I want to get as many clients as possible. Why would you want to say no to any of them? And you'll be right. You know, as hard as it is to find customers or clients that we want to work with, it's also just as hard to say no to somebody, especially if that person is actually offering to pay you some money. So you might be asking yourself, why should you actually say no? Well, there's a few reasons why you actually should say no to clients that you can't work with. Now, the goal of every entrepreneur that you might be is to generate leads, grow their business, and actually live a happier existence. And for you to have done that, you would have identified your target market, clarified your message, and determined the media that you're going to reach out to these people to. And it's not easy to actually close deals. And I know and I understand that growing your own business is tough. You're probably cold calling potential clients right now and having them hang up in your face. You know, you're probably sending out hundreds of emails without getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. Or you're wasting thousands of dollars on ad spend and not generating any qualified leads. And sometimes it feels like no one wants to buy what you're selling. And when you have to rely on your business to maybe pay rent and put food on the table, man, it could put an enormous strain on your emotions, and you're terrified to give up on your dreams. And now you're listening to this podcast and Prosper is telling you to say no to your clients, and you're like, what? How does that work out? You see, I can understand as an entrepreneur, marketing is just one aspect of running a successful business. You know, you go from hiring and managing new staff, you're balancing books, driving growth, and a whole lot more. And it feels like it's a constant balancing act where you're pulled in multiple different directions all at once. And at the end of the day, your real goal is just to help your clients. You just want to provide a solution to people that have a pain that you can help. You know, you just want to spend as much time as possible changing people's lives and solving problems. You don't want to waste countless hours each week trying to navigate the whole complex world of online marketing. And you certainly don't want to spend yet another minute on the phone having to beg people to hire your services. Let me tell you something. You don't have to. And we don't even have to do that. And we've got a long list of clients that want to work with us. And it's not because I'm a genius or anything else. It's actually because I pick and choose who I want to work with. And not a lot of people are happy with being rejected. Okay. So you're questioning yourself and you're like, why would you say no? Well, there are a few reasons to that. First of all, when something is not right, you don't want to enter into that relationship. Remember, you're going to be working with this person to get them results. And if it doesn't feel right, or maybe you've got a process for them to book a call with you and they want to do it in their own way, or they're just too lazy to even engage you at the first hurdle, let me tell you something, that person is going to be a client from hell. So if you've got a process that you've laid out, that people have to book a call and then wait for their time to call, or somebody just rings you out of the blue or something like that, most of those people just want to hear the price and they don't care about how you're going to provide them that service, or how you work, or if it is actually going to cost you any money or inconvenience you at all. All they're thinking of is themselves. And you don't want to work with people that don't care about your own well-being. You know what I mean? Even though you might get excited at the prospect of getting a new client, just pay attention to these warning signals. They might not show themselves up immediately, but they are red flags for sure. There couldn't be as straightforward as the fact that maybe they would have fired their last designer who worked with him, and maybe after a month they're still using that designer's watermarked logo, or they come to you already with a prepared strategy from another financial planner or a nutritional strategy from another coach. It could be that you get maybe bad vibes when you sit down with the person and you're sitting with them for that initial conversation. It could be that he sounds a lot like a client that you've dealt with before, who was a client from hell. All of those is your intuition telling you to be very careful when dealing with a client like that. Whatever the reason, if you feel something is not quite right, don't sign. Don't engage. It's far easier to do this immediately than maybe 2 to 3 months down the line when you can't actually get out of that contract and they're already expecting results from you immediately. All right. So one other thing that also happens is when you engage a business or an organization, the person who signs the contract might not be the person who you need to liaise with in order to get information to create that tailored package that you promised them. Okay. So maybe everything seems to go okay. The client is perfectly reasonable and your contract is pretty clear and is signed. Now, it doesn't matter what you do. You could be a coach, a consultant, or a small business owner. If you have been engaged to maybe speak or to come and give your expertise or your consultation or training or information or anything of that nature, now you can't find the people you can arrange first of all rooms with, or you can't find the person who has access to the website, or maybe somebody who's got access to the branding design or branding schedule or content schedule that they might have, or maybe you're helping them with the software and nobody has the passwords to that, and it just is a big hurdle for you to actually get their cooperation. You might need them to sign off maybe on a design that you've created, and then you want them to maybe provide you access to their server so you can upload their website, or to arrange a meeting with some of the other vendors that they already have, whatever the requirements. If you don't have somebody on the other end to talk to, or to keep you, maybe they keep telling you, no, it's not as important for us to do right now, can you find a workaround? Then that's a sure sign for you to leave. Because when something goes wrong or it doesn't work the way you said it would, and this will definitely happen because your hands are tied up, it will be your fault. And that's a bad review on your part. And obviously people will speak ill about you whenever they meet up, with their friends and relatives. And it wasn't your fault. Okay. So when you start seeing people not being responsive, or people not helping you actually do your work, that's a surefire sign for you to say no to a client like that. Okay. Or maybe you've been working with us and you've started generating a lot of leads. Maybe you just don't have time to work with other people. It is actually good for you to say no than to take on jobs that you can't fulfill, because you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands full. Okay. You might have a client that you get along well with, and then, you might have done projects for them in the past, but right now you just don't have the time for them. And you've got maybe 3 deadlines that are looming, 4 more projects that need work on, and the kids have just gone on a week-long vacation from school. You need to be on point to go pick them up and everything else that goes along with it. You have a life to live. All right. You're not tied down to the work or results that your clients have. You have a right to say no, my friend. So you want to keep this in mind, that as much as you'd like to do everything for everyone, you can't please everyone. And if you don't keep to what you commit to, then your customers are never going to be satisfied. And clients that are not satisfied are rarely happy about it, and probably they won't come back for repeat business. Not only have you shot yourself in the foot, but it's far more professional to actually decline and possibly even refer them to somebody else who can help them out. I don't know if you've if you're in Australia, we've got a show called Shark Tank, or maybe I think in America they got it. I mean, in London or in UK, they've got what's called the Dragon's Den. All right, so you'll be intimately familiar with that final verdict that the investors have. It's uttered by some of the most successful entrepreneurs when they decide on a particular investment opportunity that is not a good fit. How often do you say that to your prospect? Okay, and they say, for that reason, I'm out. Because if things are not adding up, maybe you don't have a good gut feeling about that person. You want to work with them, but the first initial, processes are just being a big hurdle, and you're not getting the right person to work with, and maybe you just don't have time. You should and be able to say, for that reason, I'm out. Okay, how often are you saying this to your prospects? It could actually be a career mending statement instead of a career ending statement. So when I started this podcast, I was like, I just said I can't work with somebody else because they're coming to me with a social media marketing account, which basically has had 3 ad accounts shut down by Facebook. So obviously they are being targeted for misleading information. Just because they're close to their product, they don't quite see that the lay person or the everyday person out there doesn't understand what an opportunity they're offering, and it has to be explained in such a way that their content, their imaging, and everything else does not spell out that this is a quick rich scheme. Okay. So I'm trying to tell the client, no, we need to create content in order to mask these landing pages and everything else. And it's like, we've had success in the past. And I'm like, you know what? Go back to those people that you've had success from, and they didn't want to hear that. Okay. So how often do you tell people, for that reason, I'm out? Maybe you should be saying that a little bit more often. You know how it goes. Some potential client might email you about working together, and maybe he wants a new website, maybe some new copy, marketing advice. It doesn't matter. You and he discuss the work, a little further, and then you realize your potential client is about to make maybe a huge, expensive mistake. Even if you've invested hours, even despite doing your best work, in your heart of hearts that this person is about to waste money and something just won't work. I understand marketing. You got to have the right kind of message to the right kind of market, which is delivered with the right kind of media. You know what I mean? And if none of those points and, aspects are present in any marketing strategy, guess what? That marketing is going to be falling on deaf ears. You know why? Because people only subscribe and listen to marketing that is directed at them. So what would you do? What would you do if it was me today? Most people would shrug. That's what the client wants. Not my fault if it doesn't pan out as he planned. Guess what? You're taking the customer's money, you're taking the customer's time, and you're giving them a false hope. That's on you. That's on you, Mr. Professional. That's on you, Mrs. Professional. You gotta do the right thing. But here's the thing. You don't have a responsibility to serve your clients well. All right? You do have a responsibility to actually serve your clients well. And I repeat, it is your utmost responsibility for you to do good by your clients. And if you take on a project and knowing that your work and his money will be a complete waste, in my humble opinion, do not take on work that is not going to yield any results, no matter how broke you are. And I see it all the time. Some people get so excited about their ideas that they can't see the forest for the trees. Not everyone is your customer, no matter how much you've gotten a proven method. Some people just can't be helped. Okay, maybe you don't. If it's with marketing, the customer's business model might be broken. You can deliver clients to him, but if he doesn't have a way to actually convert those customers into paying customers, he does not see all the work that you're doing behind the scenes. Or maybe the idea sounds fun, but it won't make any money for him, or there's a huge gap between the marketing strategy and their delivery and things of that nature. Yes, maybe your customer can come to you with the money just burning a hole in their pockets because they want to see their idea becoming a reality fast, and they want you to do all the work. But you're the expert. You should know better than to accept a job that you're not going to deliver results on. It is your responsibility to serve your clients well. Think of it this way. I mean, if he was asking you to invest in his idea, would you say yes? Or would you say, no, I'm out? So if you can't invest in your client's business, don't work for them. Because why are you doing that if you're not vested in their success? I mean, sure, turning down a job means you're losing income, and I know that sucks. You know what I mean? But when somebody waves maybe $10,000 or $50,000 at you, I mean, it sure is tempting to go ahead. And you're already imagining what you're going to do with the money before it even hits your bank account. You're already thinking of what you're going to buy and how you're going to spend it. Success. I can understand, and I completely agree that it's not easy making money out there. And if somebody waves money at you, you might as well just grab it and then figure it out as you go. But let me tell you something. That bad review will last with you forever. You could always make more money. All right? So not just for the client, do it for yourself. But if your client is actually making a mistake and you know it, or they're not doing the right thing and you know it, don't take their money. Because if anything goes wrong, guess what? You will also be suspect number 3 or 2 or however close you are to the project. Even if it hurts, turn him down. Pass on the job. Okay? You lose the money, but you gain integrity points and self-respect for having made the right decision. And that self-respect is not just from your client, but for yourself. Granted, when you back out of a deal that isn't maybe going to work out for you, that's not something that comes easy. It takes a lot of experience. It takes a lot of ego, understanding your own ego, your own wisdom and common sense and some forethought. But it's not impossible. Sometimes just a few simple questions can turn up those red flags that I was talking about earlier on. You want to ask your client, what are the methods will you use to drive traffic to your new website? That's something that we will do, because if somebody just comes to me and says they want one product of what we're offering, and then I'll ask them, who is responsible for converting these leads when they show up? What other methods are you using to drive this traffic? Or maybe you want to write a newsletter. Okay, that sounds good. Have you planned your strategy for the coming 12 months? Have you got all the 12 editions of the newsletter that you're going to be issuing out, when the time comes in? Could you tell me more about some of your revenue streams? I didn't notice any. How are you going to be making money? First of all, that question secures that they'll be able to pay you even if they're not getting any results from whatever it is that you're creating for them. But eventually, you want to know that you are helping people that are actually creating a profitable business out there. Because you know what? Questions like these may actually reveal that your client has no plan for whatever strategy they're asking you for. Like I said, maybe they come to you and they want you to help them with the newsletter. They don't even know how maybe an autoresponder works. And they haven't even considered what are the revenue streams they would have, because while you're waiting for people to subscribe for the newsletter or whatever solution that you're giving to them, there has to be some sort of cash flow coming in. That way you get paid. That way they stay in business and maybe pay their team. So if they haven't considered any of this, are they waiting for you to do that for them? I mean, sometimes clients, when they come to us, they think, we just have a social media presence and then money just starts rolling down, like that, or whatever, traffic. Don't you, they think that we just build them and people will come. It don't work like that. I mean, think about it. Should you take this person's money and do the work that he just wants you to do, even if you know they don't have maybe a scalable business, they don't have a proper business model, you haven't seen any testimonials or any results, you haven't seen the work that they've done before, anything that would help you at least get started in line to get them quick results or something of that nature? No. Not with that telling them upfront that while you're happy to do the work and be paid for whatever time that they're paying you for, you don't believe you'll achieve the results that he expects. I know that's kind of painful, but you gotta be upfront. Your responsibility as a professional is to do right by the client, no matter how much it hurts your bottom line. I mean, obviously, they might be mad, they might not be happy, and everything else that comes along with it. But let me tell you something. He might get offended. He might get insulted. It don't matter. You just need to say it. Because believe you me, if this person pays you and doesn't get the result that he's hoping from your work, he will definitely blame you. All right, not himself, not his crazy idea, not his poor marketing plan, or maybe lack of traffic or terrible product or whatever it is that made the result hard to get. He will blame you. So you should also understand, as a professional, as a coach or consultant, people can always do everything that we are saying we can help them do, but they are only looking for other people to blame, and that's the reason why we get paid. We get paid for somebody to point a finger at us. So why not choose the fingers that can point at us when it is something that you can absolutely not help? Not you getting into an agreement or an arrangement knowing that you are already defeated based on the red flags that you're receiving from that person to start off with. All right? So you want to make sure that no matter what it is, if you don't feel right about the agreement, if you don't see them, putting skin in the game, say no. All right? You are not going to lose anything, but you've got a lot to gain just by you being honest with them. So if you're an expert, you use those wits and smarts of yours. Don't just be an expert on paper. Be an expert in real life. Be streetwise. Ask questions, because you already know what these people need to have before you start engaging with them. And if you just take them on and then realize they're not even qualified to work with you, guess what? You now can't get out of that contract without you paying them off. Now, have you got money to pay people that ain't shit? Watch out for these red flags and sport problems before they emanate or they start rearing their heads there. Point out these issues. Do you know what I mean? Have a little heart-to-heart with your client and tell them the frank truth. It's better for you to put them in the right direction than for you to just grab their money and then you be blamed about it a little bit later on. And in some instances, some professionals, if somebody takes you to the Consumer Council or whatever is equivalent body of your industry, you might have your license revoked. Now, is that worth it? You've worked far too hard to get to where you are for somebody to just come in with their dirty feet and walks on your white carpet, and you let them by not saying no to them. Come on, man. You're an expert. Use those smarts. Instead of just pointing out your alphabet soup there, show that you can literally use that credibility and knowledge to even safeguard your own safety. Don't feel bad about turning prospects away. The same way that person came to you will be the same way somebody else will come in. Believe in abundance, all right? There's so many people out there that need your services. Don't hold on to something that's just going to shoot you in the foot. Don't feel bad about turning a prospect away. You're only inviting him to do maybe extra homework to create better success. At the end of the day, let me tell you something. If the client is not invested in working towards the solution, why are you even helping them? Is this for you? It's for them, right? So why do you have to do all the work? You are in the transformation business. You have to take people on the journey in order for them to do and have a happier existence. You already have all that you're perpetuating these people to have, unless you're a fraud. But here's the truth, all right? Most people, especially the ones who respect their expertise and value your counsel, will appreciate your honesty. But if somebody is not appreciating the fact that you're saying no to them, then you can even tell by yourself that they were not even worth it in the first place. And they'll be thankful that you told them the truth and probably wonder why no one has ever said that to them. That increases your credibility. That actually gets them to go back, calibrate themselves and come back knowing exactly what it takes for them to be accepted to work with you. People need to actually apply to be your customer, not the other way around. All right, because those people, you're the expert here. You're the person with the solution. Why do you have to beg clients in order for them to hire you? You need to be showing them that this is what they need. This is how you're going to help them, and eventually, make time for those that actually appreciate your service. And like I said, they'll go back to the drawing board. They'll think things through. And maybe they'll come back to you in the future with a better plan that actually works. And maybe they'll stop right there and be grateful that they didn't lose, their money before things went out of hand. And now that's a job well done. It is in your best interest, and you do have a responsibility to serve your clients well. Because if you just take on any project knowing that maybe your work or your client's money is going to be a complete waste, in my humble opinion, all right, it's very wrong not to tell people the state of affairs or whatever it is that's going to happen. Like I said earlier on, you are the expert. You should know better than to accept any jobs that are not going to be helpful for you to work with you. You would understand. See, for us, we actually have a stream of people that we can't work with. You know what? Because it's difficult for us to get results if somebody operates a product-based business. So we can't work with drop shippers. We can't work with e-commerce entrepreneurs. We can't work with software companies. But because our services and the way we create our work is not the best fit for them. All right? We can't work with people that are searching for get-rich-quick schemes or something that helps them achieve millionaire status without even putting in any work. I have all of that information written on my website. You should actually have that. All right. We can't work with coaches or consultants who prefer to rely on outdated techniques and cold calling to find their customers, because somebody like that is never going to appreciate any of the work that we put in behind the scenes in order for them to get the leads that they're looking for. We can't work with people that are not serious about growing their business. So if they can't take on any more clients or maybe change their lives or even just lift a finger to help us get started. I mean, it might sound silly, but not everyone is ready for that kind of responsibility. They just want somebody to do it for them. They don't even know what needs to be done, and they need to know where to point their finger in order to blame when something doesn't work. So they come to you, they don't even know what to expect, they don't even know what they're looking for, but they expect results. We can't work with people like that. We also can't work with people that are a control freak, somebody who isn't willing to take any advice from our professional and digital marketers, and who know, because we know what it takes to scale our business online, and we have proof to back it up. And if you're coming to us, we are the expert, not the other way around. Because if you knew how to do whatever we can do, couldn't you do it by yourself? So you need to really be specific on who you can work with. Of course, we can work with a coach or consultant, owner of a service business, that is willing to go the extra mile to make sure that they also get results. We also want to work with people that have an established business with at least $100,000 in annual revenue, and they possess a clear understanding of the value that they provide to their clients. If you don't know what your service actually is and what people get from working with you, I can't work with you. Because nobody has the time for you to actually clarify your message and maybe help you identify your market. There's people that get paid thousands of dollars for that to happen. I'm not going to do that for you for free. I'm also willing to work with people that are sick to death of having no control over how many clients their business gets from week to week. People that are tired of having people hang up in their face because they're not, picking up their phone, or they don't want to work with them. Let me tell you something. If you want to wake up every morning with an inbox full of piping hot leads who are ready to buy the moment you jump on the phone with them, then you could be a great customer of ours. So If you've been thinking about working with us, just jump onto our website, www.livelongdigital.com.au. Just go through the stuff that we've got on there. We are here to literally help you scale your business so that you can create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And one thing that we can help you do is create diverse recurring revenue streams to skyrocket your profitability and to ensure that your business remains 100% bulletproof. You've been through a pandemic. Everybody else has been. It's time to rebuild. And even if it's going to be during market downturns, global pandemics, and sweeping lockdowns, just here, show up and let's see if we can help you. And if you've got all the things that tick our boxes, then maybe we can accept you as a customer. If not, we will send you on your way with instructions of how to, clean yourself up until we can actually work with you. At the end of the day, that's something that you should be doing, all right? You shouldn't just be taking on any client that comes in with a credit card, because that credit card will be your own demise, all right? I can't wait to see you succeeding out there. And let me tell you something. For that reason, I'm out. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au